Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and helping the boys to learn from within out. I like those words. From within out. That's good. Be'ezer Hashem. So, the book, come on in. Come on in. You don't like to squeeze there? Easy to run out. That's good. Good. Siyata Dishmaya. So Rashi says, it's a family doesn't have blood, or we talk about it was lost. And Tosfos brings down that girls after 12 and a half years old not always have blood. And therefore, the blood is not a time after 12 and a half, but we get us. Only by now, okay. But it's not our focus. Our focus is now, we want to focus. This is, the classical question is, if I ask you, what is the Chiddush of Rab Lozo? This is what we want to talk about. When Rab Lozo says, one who says, Petach Patuach Matzosi, Ne'emon is believed, Lo Yisrael, what's the Chiddush of Rab Lozo? Who know myself, and what Rab Lozo has to tell me? Right? He has to say a Chiddush. Does everybody agree to him?
Depends on you read his number.
Omar Rabbi Elazar says, what do you mean how you read a member? Yes.
See, there are solar statements. Oh,
you can read it? Okay, good. Let's see Rashi. So the first thing we have to look is in Rashi. Ne'emar lo Yisrael is believed to prohibit harming. The first thing is case, law, reason, source. What's the case? So Rashi says, what's the case? Case Pesach Patur. What about blood? There's no blood. Okay, that's the case. He says Petach Patur. The law is Ne'emar lo Yisrael. Rashi says, even though this thing cannot be clarified only upon his mouth. Wow. So really, there's an undermined statement here. There's a statement behind the statement. When he says, Afal pi she'ein adover, which means when something can be clarified not only through him. So then, you have a certain belief because it can be found to be false. The Gemara says many times is, if I can be challenged, I'm not going to lie.
Why you believe in his statement? Because Asoma,
give me Asoma. Eidus shita chola asima, no Eidus. A lot of Rishonim learn because that's really the power behind Eidus. To be challenged. If he said Eidus or shtar without mokum bezman, he cannot be challenged. It's not an Eidus. So Rashi says, cannot be challenged. Why Rab Lozo says Ne'emar lo Yisrael? He believed to prohibit her and him. The word Ne'emon, okay. Maybe it's not Ne'emonus of Eidus, but it's some kind of Ne'emonus. It can make chiluki. If I can answer this question, that the Ne'emon here is not Ne'emon. Ne'emon here is a different level of Ne'emon. Good. It's not Eidus, it's Ne'emon. What is it? Let's see what Rashi says. Let's see what is the rabbit that Rashi brings out for us. Yes, Reb Moshe. I can hear. Is it Ne'emon on himself or Ne'emon on himself? Is Ne'emon about her for himself? But it's really about himself. So that's how she says. Legabe nafshe, reference to himself, Aben is believed. Leshavio alei, to make her on him. Leshavio, to make her alei on him, or alei on her. Chatiche d'isur, to be a piece of isur. Aval hafsido ksuvasa, but to lose her ksuva lo'imehim is not believed. This is what the Gemara said. That he's not believed, according to Rashi, he's not believed to take money out of her, to lose her ksuba, but reference to himself, there should be a piece of isur to him, he's believed on himself, not himself. Now, one second, I want to First, let's make it more clarity, more reality in our mind to understand what he means. What does it mean to prohibit? What obligation a husband has to his wife that he's prohibiting? Oh, no. It's only him also her. It's both sides. Oh, they're both sides. It's he's not giving her, he's prohibiting himself to her. She loses. She loses Oina. Why is that Mimela? And even if it's Mimela, who says he's believing in Mimela? It's one thing. But truth, I say, why? One second. What did Rashi answer? Rashi answered, Legabe Nafshe, reference himself with Shmuel, before you leave any speech. What? No, who said this? Before you leave for Mincha, after Mincha, you speak.
The woman is part of himself.
What?
The woman is part of
Legabe Nafshe Neiman, it's not only Nafshe, it's also her. It says no relationship. I'm asking, is it not the simplicity? When he says no oino to you, means not only he prohibited her and him that he loses, there's no gap to her that she's not going to have a husband anymore.
No, only is a fear on the husband.
Right.
So that's your wife, not the one she's
What do you mean? It's not her rights? It's not her rights? It's not her rights? Let's talk about it. What's looking at the Bible?
Budget not
Sheiro susava oinos. Her oino, oinata, her oino, not his oino. Her oino, legal, I cannot leave that.
Strike the law. That's only the point you can't bring a right one.
I'm not bringing it out, that's not a Gemara. Rashi answers that to say that she's prohibited is only lenafshe. Legabe nafshe b'meiman.
If you want to put the husband makes a net
Yes.
makes a net there, you won't do.
Neder has nothing to do. Neder is what you can do.
That's the question.
Yes.
You won't do anything with his wife. What is that? Yes, it's a
Yes.
because it's a you do.
Right.
Is he worse than the heat one? Here's the same thing.
Yes.
He's making like a man.
So, wait, see, you're learning that if Shana is a neder, who says a neder? Rashi doesn't say neder, Rashi says neman. Rashi says meheiman l'shavi alech, he's believed. Neder is not a belief. 1 second, neder is not a belief, neder is a fact. Rashi says meheiman, yes, Rabbi. Yes. So just know. But Rashi says he's believed. The fact that he cannot prove, yes, but he's believed meheiman. Consequences. So that's our question on the table. What does Rashi mean? Reference himself is believed. No, it's never himself. There's a partnership here. There's a partnership. There's always the wife involved. Okay. I would say maybe a different small. Always small, she said. In my mind, I answered myself when I read this. Simplicity means it is, but I want to mark it. I'll add a little bit more spice to my understanding. Let's see if that makes it easier. The throw will be the fact, the fact that he can divorce her is in his hand to divorce her. It's in his hand to stop the relationship. Right? 1 second. Let's define. It's in his hand to stop the relationship right now. To give it right now again. It's in his hand. Nobody can stop it. As long as he's married, he has to give an oino. But in his hand to stop. So when he does the Yisro, so okay, what do you mean? If I was you, I'll divorce you. Really, it's no got the ball. No got the ball. I mean, he's the color. Oh, great. But I'm bypassing this problem. I'm saying I'm not bothered with that. Because since he has the power to divorce her, and the result is no relationship, she says, what's the problem? I'm bothering you? Bye-bye.
That's only potential.
Potential. So, Rabbi, no, so what the rabbi said, listen, you only believe on yourself, you don't believe on her. Right, I'm not believing on her. So I'm the person. The rabbis will force me, not because I believe on her, I believe on you, but because when I believe on you, you relate to her and you can't do that, so divorce her. Because you, for reference to yourself, you prohibit. That would be the slow. Really, he's only believed on himself. He's not believed on her. And the rabbi will say, listen, because you don't believe on her, only on you, and by you creating a pain and a blemish on your wife, which you have no rights, you have no belief, no, you have not believed on her, but yourself is stuck. So I go, yeah, I'll divorce it. The rabbi will tell me to divorce. No, so she really, I'm saying, he's not believed on her. He only believed on himself, but ramification for her, he knocks it out by cutting. No, forget, I'm divorcing you. What's the problem? He believed in both. This is not believing her. I see he's bothering her because he's not going to be with her anymore. So there's no problem. I'm going to solve it. It's only me, not you, because I'm cutting out the relationship anymore. The same minute I say, here's again, boom, no masculinity. No, so he says, I'm not, you're permitted from your side, you're permitted. Let's say you went divorce her and you live with her. Who's over these on here, not her. It still says it's not because he made and he made his belief on her too. He's not believing on her. And if you don't believe in her, you will do the Eid Meiser, you will get if Adrian sees it, and his Muchsak, we're going to talk about in the end, the Sugya, he may give him lashes, Marcus. Only him, not her. Because he's not believing on her. Why it's not really hurting her? Because basically we're divorce. Yes.
You don't have to pay. The patient don't believe that I have to pay. There's no, you have no to pay. But it's the phone, okay,
It's not a fool. So that's why he gave you a gift. He gave you a gift. Why not?
That's like that.
Well, I don't know. That's a different. That's money. We're talking about Esau. Money is a different story. Maybe you do too. Maybe too. Some people learn too. Yes, we're gonna learn. This is when we start. We're just opening. Yes, we're just opening the topic. Opening the topic. But what Rashi definitely says, legabe nafshe aveneimam. That's what Rashi says. He's not believed on her, and if you will live with her, you will get lashes, not her. But he's not bothering her because he can divorce her, and basically will force him to divorce. That's true. But what? Not right. I'm explaining. What Rashi says, my understanding, my explanation, what Rashi says, the Gabe Nafshe, so I will ask, now there's no Nafshe, it's always to her too. The answer says, no, it's not her too. It's only him. Or by you, I can divorce you. And basically, we'll force me to divorce. I don't understand. If I live with her, I'll get lashes. She's not. What? Rashi says Mehiman, the word Mehiman. We don't know what does that mean and what's the McCoy. What does it mean, Mehiman? This is what we're going to explore today, Bezrat Hashem. We're going to bring 4 different opinions, which are all printed in the papers. I hope everybody learned it. We have the Marit, we have the Ketzois, we have the Goyim Vilna, we have the Trumas Sakri, and Bezrat Hashem, a 4th floor in the Torah Mitzion. I'm just joking. But I said this so many years ago, many times, in many sugyas, and part of it is the name of my father, bless his memory. And probably some of the Talmidim heard it from my father, this Yesoid. It's a whole new, very famous, and I want to solve the sugi with this.
Why did they bonus?
What?
Why did they bonus?
I don't know why. Rashi says Neman. The Gemara says Neman Meheman. That's what Rashi translates. I don't know why. That's what the fact is. Neman. Rashi said, Rav Lozer says Neman. Why?
Because he says to be on the thing.
Yes.
And what he's supposed to say.
And what he says.
He's not saying the
No, that's opposite. Opposite, Rabbi. That's a question. No, he cannot be challenged. Only him. It's a reyuse. It's a reyuse nemanus. You cannot. Only it's a reyuse. The answer is, Abba Meiman is believed. We don't know yet what. Let's open the Chassam Sofer. The Chassam Sofer says in the first page, page 1, two short lines. It's very important to start with the Chassam Sofer. Really, truly, we need a Chocham investigation, a rabbi's investigation of Daniel. Your Chocham, you belong. You're not a Chocham, so be a Chocham. From where simple to our rabbis, how do we know this?
Who's this about?
Chassam Sofer.
No, I'm talking about
Maybe he's rabbinic, I don't know. He says not what?
Rashi cannot say.
One second, relax. The Gemara says in a couple of places, when it's not against his chazek. When it's his chazek, so then what? Then me too. So this is Dov Shaber when he's chazek. He cannot be a dechol. So he has to be some kind of belief of Shavya Nafsh is a belief, and it cannot be with the Rabbonon and the Oraisa to say Nemel Osrolov. If it goes the Rabbonon, Rashi should have said it. But number one. He's a husband. He's an Eider. He's suing you have to be an outside. You can be an inside. You can do an owner. Pilot. Doesn't matter. Eider be suing even about those. Good. But there is still a din of Shavya Nafshi. She says, we know where we know it from. Statement. Because if somebody says, Yogossi, Motsosi, Altami, he definitely was a geya, but probably he didn't found enough of an answer to Meyashav his heart. Kimai Dechsiv, what has been written in page 22? Dechsiv is beating Osati Nishazeh and Raya. With a glance quickly to page 22. One said, that's not true. That's not true, Rabbi. But the Gemara says a little bit more there. The Gemara says a father is believed to say, and his daughter like himself. That's the assumption. He's believed as an emunah to send his daughter that she was married, she's prohibited to the world. The Gemara says not because of Peshosa. He's believed just to Oisa. That itself I need a posuk. No, the Gemara was tells me about Peshosa, I don't need a posuk for that. So you're right. Just for the learning of Esau. The Gemara says, but the din on the ish is to Esau. So comes the Chassam Sofer and he says no higher from there. Why is no higher? As Tosis there in Tosis Shonim in small explains that according to the Maskon, look at the last line of Tosis. Avalafia Maskon again explains that Avamina was a Xerasa Kosu who then Nemanafal Pishain Bayodo. See the last line of Tosis then page 22? The Avamina he says, a person says, when my daughter was young, I married her. Now she's an adult. She's not in his hands to go back in time. There's no movies here. Back in time. Oh, now she's 12 years old. He says about then it's not beyodo. It's the Havamina is nem on even it's not beyodo. But if you maskono, Eloi nem again. It's only if it's beyodo. If it's beyodo, it's just a miracle. Because he can do what he wants. He can marry her right now. So therefore, the Chassam Sofer says there's no makor. He doesn't see where is the source that Shavya Nafshech Tikkun Yisur is beating Otati Lisha they believes to prohibit her because it's a Yoda, it's a svara. I don't only for Sadik Zasa because yesterday. Yes. And Toysa says there's only a little bit of a chidush. It's not fully biyodoi because you need a man to agree to marry your daughter. Says it's in my hand to marry her. Who says somebody will agree? So there's not fully biyodoi, but this is enough biyodoi. Because with dineros a little bit, with good mouth, you beautify your daughter, somebody will want. You find a lebachol or something, you find somebody. Mukashkin, you find somebody. Don't worry. There's always somebody you want.
So what the students the Rosh said, we don't see the top. Let's say that.
You made us, but you're like so.
So we don't have this.
Good. We ask him, it's only Hiyun and Raya. He says, and Raya, it's only Hiyun. There's no Raya that a person is believed to create an Isur on himself, but when it's not beyond, there's an Emonus. He is believed. This question was not asked by the Chazam. The Ktsois, the Marit actually is much earlier. Everybody, all the Tumasakiri, all the big Gedolim are searching what is the Makoy. And we're going to go through Bezat Hashem the Ktsois, say the questions that the Ktsois ask themselves. And every sheet that he was a problem. But before we go to those sheets, I want to go back to where I started. What is the Kiddush of Rab Lozo? Hava Maskon. And once we have that, we're going to have to check out if it fits our Gemara. Okay? This is our goal of a shir. So without seeing, I would say the Kiddush is that even though it's a suffix, great, but who says it happened unto you? That's two suffix, it's one suffix. The law is something that I say, but the Isur is not an Isur that comes from a Vada, it's Isur as a result of a suffix. So because it's an Isur as a result of suffix, who says it's Shav Yamash on a suffix? The reality says, but it is a suffix. No, we have a suffix. What happened? If it's open, I take as a face value truth that reference to himself that was open. But doesn't mean she's also or not. It's a suffix doraisa. Okay, one Kiddush is you can have Shav Yamash that he's on a suffix. Wait, I said now. We'll see the second one. It goes Mechadish. Another point, what's the Kiddush? Let's see. Because the Gemara understood that there's no, the svar of Suffolk and Vada, sometimes the Lechum Vada is the same. After the Kach, the Gemara will ask, that's my understanding. That's the most. Let's see the most kashes. V'amai Seik Sveiku, it's a double Suffolk. And Suffolk Seik is Muto, which Seik? Suffolk Tachto, Suffolk ain't Tachto. V'intim Tzalem al Tachto, Suffolk Boinus, and the Rotzain. Boinus is permitted, the Rotzain is prohibited. So it's double Suffolk is permitted. Lo Yitzricha Elo Beishes Koyen, which is one Suffolk. If it's Rotzain or Oinish is prohibited, the only way not to not be prohibited is not Tachto. So it's only Tachto, not Tachto. But Tachto, either way, Rotzain and Oinish is also just Koyen. So it's one thing is, I don't know, I'll answer that in a second. The Ibai saying another answer, Beishes Israel, really a normal girl, married to a Israel. But the Kingoin, and the Kibbel Ba'avu Kiddush U'Pchusam Lebasgimel Yishonim Yomecho. She got engaged less than 3. The rule is, if the virginity is being fallen before 3, it goes back. So now that he found the opening, cannot be from before the engagement, before 3, because it will go back. So only one suffix, also known as a Rotzah. So we found 2 cases where our Blazer is speaking about. Now, Blazer is speaking about a wacko cases. Ashes Kohen, or got engaged less than 3 years old in one day. Ashes Yisrael. So it's one suffix. He's Naaman to create an Isur by one suffix. Suffix the right side of the Chumrah. The Gemara says, what do you mean? My Kamash on Tanina. Aoim Elish of Kidashtik, we omeres lo Kidashtani. Muta Bekroiva, Rasul Bekroiva is there. The Gemara Rabbi Yosef Chaim, the Tzavada is a suffix. Once a rule is the right side of the Chumrah, most of the Shanim was the right side. So there's no difference Vada and suffix. So you know what's the Kiddush? Well, we didn't answer that. You want to answer a different answer. You know what's the Kiddush of Rab Lozo? Mao the Taim or some Devara Kila. They knows for sure. He knows what he did. He married this woman, so therefore she's prohibited her. All his sisters and relatives are prohibited her. To him. Also, the Rabbi Kim Rashi says Shekicha. Avalocha Meikam Adolikim Rashi says Rashi. Let's see Rashi. Very important Rashi. Here we have a Machloikes Rishonim. What's the Kamashmalah? And I think this is really our opening of our Sugya. Very important. Avalocha, but here, Eimol let us say, Mitoch Sheponuyo, since he was single, there ain't no book, he's not professional, never been with a woman. Meikam Adolikim is not established by him. Doesn't know. I didn't say Meikam Adolikim in English, I don't know.
Which Rashi? He's Medam.
Rashi Avol Och. It's towards the end of the short lines. 5 lines above the end of the short lines.
Doesn't even see.
There ain't no boki, he's not professional. Meikam Adolikim really is not established by him the reality. And Rashi says, Kasovu, what does Kasovu means? He's a dimyon. Medame, Kasovu, he thinks. Shemotzo petakotor, he thinks that he found an opening open. Ve'inoken is not so. Veloiti also should not be prohibited. Again, you know what's the chiddush? Who said you're right? When he says, I married you and your sisters are prohibited to me, I know what I did. And even if I know something Doraisa, I know what I did. But even my something Doraisa says, Father or something, when I know what I'm doing, it's no chiddush. Chiddush here is that he thinks he knows. Kasavu Shema, that Shemot he thinks that he found, but really he's not professional. Maybe he did ataya, maybe he bent on the side and it ripped before. Who knows? He bypassed. I don't know exactly what ataya mean. No, maybe he dreams. Maybe his imagination, he doesn't have a proper understanding what he's seen to transfer what he saw. Why he sees that was open, yes. But who says it was open from before? Maybe he did ataya. He thinks, but it's not. There ain't no king, it's not so. 1 second. And what's the kamashmalan? Ooh, here we have a problem. What's the kamashmalan? Here are machloikes rishonim. What is the kamashmalan? This is really, I want to start the sugi from this point. What is the kamashmalan, Rabbi Achosin and Rabbi Shmuel? An amazing wedding. Came back home so happy. I think I was in a wedding like this, and everybody was happy for you. Right, Rabbi? Right, Rabbi Shmuel? We came back here a day later, we were sitting down. I said, wow, amazing. Yeah, I know it. But you had the courage to jump and go gibor, to go forward. And he fasted all day. I had a big shine in my heart. I told you, right, not to fast. That's okay, but it's a kavos chavoinus, he fasted. Oh Hashem. Shabbat. Anyhow, so oh Hashem, chos. Yes. No, he's not a Boki. The question is that even is not a Boki, Kamash Malon, although he's not a Boki, he's believed. Why? Because the fact you said, and it's clear to you, even though you don't know, even though you kasover your imagination, it means they say Tom Lev. You know what Tom Lev means? Tom Lev means innocent. The guy is sincere and innocent. But because he said Vadite himself and his sincereness is prohibited, even though it's not a true reality, could be it's not a true reality. Oh no, Kamash Malon, as my father bless his memory used to say, he told us before we got married, you don't need to go to university to know how to be with a woman. He said, you don't need to go there. You know, they take guys to teach you how to get married. Yes, he said, Midas wise different. You have your whole life, you have to go to counseling. Relate to your wife. That's in 2 weeks before you get married. But you don't have to go there. Always the worst. You don't need to go to university. Jesus tells us. There's a lot of meanings to it. There's a lot of depths to this. But the Maise, so what's the kamashal? The kamashal is, although he's not a book, he could be a kasovu, but he claims we don't care what's the true reality. It's according to what he claims, he needs to act. I'm throwing already one small one of that point. This is what he claimed. So that has to be like that. Oh no, the Kamashmalan is that he is a Baki. He doesn't go to university, even though he never with a woman. He's a Shiva Bocher. He knows it all. Don't worry, he knows. And he fans with a Batur. He knows. Don't think that people, because they want to be women, they don't know. They know. And he said, but no, they know. What is the Kamashmalan? So we have a Machlokes, Ritvo, Rashbo, Toisus, and the Beis Amudala, which everybody learned in Yeshiva. Let's open for a second. And Rashi's argues. The Shita Mekubetzes learns and Rashi, what? Tetamut base, yes. 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 Yeah, I see the deal. It's a very good deal. Very good Rabbi Yosef Chaim. There, the Gemara is doiche. There's no raya of Pesach Patuach because he's explaining Taina's domi, which is mevueres, and there's no svara to say against it, the loy kimlei. But yet, it doesn't mean that Taka, when he says, is not kimlei. There's no half amin against it. When against the svara Pesach Patuach, he can say loy kimlei. Kamash from what? That's kimlei. That's another shaila. Now she's explaining Abaya's doiche. There's no raya from a Mishnah. I understand. Rabbi Yosef Chaim, let me even tell you a bigger secret. Last 5 years ago, I gave a shul kroli. I used this raya against the shul kobetzes, but I'm doichet now. Now I'm seeing it. I know this raya. I know very good, but there's no raya, and I'm saying why there's no raya. Exactly. There's no raya. He just wants to knock out that why done this better. Abai says don't bring a raya from Mishnah that he's believing in Allah. Because Taina's Dom is a better because it's clear. But rather than Pesach, you could say it's not broken. It doesn't mean that could say that's a truth. That although there's or change. That's another. It's true. There's no raya. What's it say? So there was no raya from there. But there's other rayas. But the Shittim Kubetzes without a raya, Shittim Kubetzes learns in Rashi. I think they printed here the Shittim Kubetzes. I hope it. I asked them to print. They told me they did. I hope it's here. Let's see. People saw the Ashmatot here, they printed this. Shidduch Kubetzes. Kovet Shiur, when I see here. Shara Melech, Tzolus, and Yehuda. Kidegel. Did they print it? Did they print Chidush HaRitvo? We have to read the Ritvo also because the Ritvo learns otherwise. Okay, they didn't print it out. But if you look in the Shittim Kubetzes, he says, V'amirili bepirush Rashi. He says, Pshat and Rashi. Pshat and Rashi, that the Kamashmalan is what? Although he's Kasovu, he may be Kasovu, but he can do it because he says Bori, so he can do it. The language is you don't feed him something which is prohibited, that he claims is prohibited. En ma'achili moiso dovo asura, that he prohibited. We have to know what it means exactly. So we have a machlokes here. The Ritva, which is definitely printed here. Yes, Reb Reuven.
Like the first possibility.
Yes.
You really know.
Yes. Yes.
So God will obligate him to divorce her, and because she has not to suffer. Why? If she was that in the case of Uta in Sarasoni.
Yes.
She's guilty. She's
Good.
another man. So why would
No, it's a suffix. It's a suffix.
No,
Suffix.
but if he's not,
If it's broken, it's still a suffix. It's broken that it's open, but what happened? The oinus is a suffix. It's oinus suffix. I never should have asked if it's not a boki, why not say so? I thought somebody should jump on me if the Pshat and Rashi is that really is imagining. So now reality is double sacred. Should be like fake sacred. It says no.
This is a book.
No, it says boki, but or he says since he says a bori, I don't care that he's not a bori. He's a bori. But even according to your brius, it says there's only one seven. It's according to you that you are bori and you say I am a boki, even though you may be not. According to your claim, it's still one seven. That's what it means. But anyhow, if you look in the end of the Rita, which is printed here in page 13. What? No, there's two sheets. I will read the Rita, then you understand better what I'm saying. Look at the Ritva, the end of the Ritva on page 8, it's small letters. In the last paragraph of the Ritva, right before Shut Pri Yitzchak, in page 13. You have it, page 13? He says, V'od Amrino. He said, you have it, you got it? Page 13, in the last paragraph of the Ritva, right before Shut Pri Yitzchak, in small letters. ועוד אמרינון לא ישרוא לו, נמה לא ישרוא לו, ולא קומה נמה לא ישרוא על עצמו. No, it's not it. Made a mistake, it's not it. No, it's not printed. There's another Ritu right after that. I thought they did print it. I thought if they had all the way to the end, it's not way. There's another Ritu right after that. It says the Kamash Malon is, if you have a Ritu here, I would love to say it by Bifnim. If you have a Ritu, anybody has a Ritu here? Yeah, okay. I want to know the Kamash Malon, that's the Kiddush. Shittim Kovitz Tan Rashi. No, this is small. You have the Ritva? Yes, we have. I would love to read it inside. Yes, I don't have. I don't have here. The Ritva here. Shkoyach Rabbi. The Ritva says, I read the language of the Ritva. Very important Ritva. We have a machloikis here. We showing him in our sugya, and now we have to go through the reasoning and we'll see what fits what. Says the Ritva, Akamash Malon. Here, small Ritva. They brought all the way to here, another 2 more lines. 2 lines afterwards, it's the Ritva. My Kamash Malon. The Shavi Anav Shechtir Nisura Bechule Ad Aval Ochem Lekam the Kimlei Kamash Malon. Pirush. I'm reading the Ritva, Pirush. Kamash Malon, the cave on the Torin Ken Beborin, Mekam Kimlei. Since he claims so in a clear claim, must be that he doesn't know what's going on. But the Shittim Kubetzes brings down Pshat and Rashi. You have it here. Let's see. It's in this page, Rabbi. It's not here. Okay. Look in the read, and the Shittim Kubetzes brings Pirush Rashi, and he says Pshat and Rashi that although he doesn't know, okay, the truth is, if you learn Ramchal, here this is you, Rabbi. If you learn Ramchal, you should have this Hakir on your own, right, Rabbi? Otherwise, you're not a student of the Diaspora Yeshiva. You should think on your own. What's a Kamashon? Kamashon either he doesn't know he's believed, or Kamashon that since he claims body, he doesn't know. To study here, to study. So they learn in Rashi. I'm reading here. Yes, who talking there? Yeah, but we said Eidech was not Neman and Erva. No, but somehow Shavi Anav says it bypasses the problem of it. One second, what are you bringing here? Shekosav Rashi, oh. Shekosav Rashi, אבל לא יכולים לתוך שפונו, אינו פה, כי כרחינתו עם אוקיי. What Pshat Rashi? Veda. Veda. This is the language of the Shittim Kubetzes. This is the name of who of the Ritva. I always said the Ritva said it. When I opened the Ritva, it doesn't apply differently. Our Ritva is not the same Ritva. But anyhow, the Ritva, one of them, which is a law, one of them is the Ritva. What? The Shittim Kubetzes brings the Ritva, whatever he is. He says, Veda Sherashi boy leferushe. According to Rashi, what's Pshat? The Chikoma Kamashon, Pirushe Kamashon. What's the Pirush of Kamashon? The Avgav the Lum Kimle, even though it's not established by him, Asur Olo. She's prohibited on him. The Mikolmokim, however, Okoma the Kimle, because he said. What do we care about the reality? Maybe the reality doesn't know. But behold, Mikolmokim, however, he said. The Kimle, he said he knows. The Shavi Anav, and then he's doing. Stop. Ooh. So now we have a machloikis here. What is the power of Shavi Anafshe? Shavi Anafshe is only when, one second, when it's Poli and Kimloi. Oh no, we don't care about the true reality. It could be we have a suffix in reality what he's claiming. But as long as he claims, this is Shavi Anapshu. So I like to show you. Right here now, so
How do you know what the claim means you know?
what?
How do you know if you make the claim that means
That's what he said. We don't know.
no.
We have a machlokes showing when he says, I know, what's the case? The case is that we assume that he really knows. Or no, although we don't assume he knows, but we don't care if he knows or not. As long as he said, this is what he said. So now we're ready to learn what is the McCoy of Shavi Anapshi. There's four major drochim ways in Achroini to learn what's the McCoy. And I will tell you a fifth way, Bezrat Hashem, which I heard this from my father, bless his memory. Not here in this sugya, in the other sugya, but I want to apply it. I want to apply it here, and I found it inside. After many years, I taught in yeshiva here. The Yerushalmi at night, I still teach at night Yerushalmi. Few guys come to my Yerushalmi class. We did Shkolim, Shvis, Peah, Broches, the Mai now. Baruch Hashem, we're going to finish also. It's amazing. Today, this that's almost impossible to learn Yerushalmi. Takes too long. Takes one daf of Yerushalmi takes about 7 or 8 dafs of Babel. That's the ratio if you don't have the Shanasti. You have the Shanasti, it takes half the time of the Babel. Anyhow, it's much easier. So, let's start. We're going to start with the Choice HaChosh. Choice HaChosh. It's all in the papers, page 1. The Choice HaChosh says, Velochen nira, therefore it looks to me. That the man is believed on himself. Even though he's relative to himself. This decree of the Torah. A person should be believing on himself. When all the psulim that he has.
What do you psulim on the what?
All the psulim, a man is believed on himself, even though he has many psulim. What is many psulim? He's a relative to himself. He's a ganav, gazan, shtaklan, mechal Shabbos. He's an eved. He's a shifra. All the psulim can be like it. Open Shono, and in Choshetul Eidus you'll find Siman Lamed Vov, a big Siman. Lamed Daled, Lamed Ei, Lamed Vov, for 3 Simonim, Psul Eidus. No big Simon, Doraisa, Tshuva.
That's what Rashi wants to say. The other piece in the
What?
to like to God. Maybe we can.
Yes, even though he's a Kohen, he's believed, yes.
Rashi.
Which Rashi?
Rashi said,
Yeah.
the other piece in the maybe it's inside.
No, there's something else. Me, nobody can challenge it. Nobody can challenge it, that's what I mean. What do you mean? Salatzman? Should have said Salatzman. The light of the one who gives, the guy that was giving us the luminary light, the luminary man in the world, that the Torah, who was the Torah luminary of the Jewish people? Rashi, Bekidush in Perikoin, he gave us an amazing light. When a person admits that he owes money, it's like 100 witnesses.
This is money.
Rashi is like, well, Rashi. The Torah says if somebody deposits vessels by someone, so he give me back. He says, no, you only gave me one, so I gave you 2. He says, only kiyuzeh, only this. So he has to swear on the other one. But who says that kiyuzeh, and what he admits, he has to give? So, so you see the Torah rely on partial of his admission. Atkan. Ve'im came, I know, good question, 1 second. Ve'im came, if so. Ki eichi, the same, we're talking about money now. Ki eichi de'emin ha'peresh neidim al acherim, the same way the Torah believed 2 witnesses on somebody else. Came in the same way, a Torah imina, Torah, Sakosu, the Torah believed, lechol odom, to all men, alatzu on himself. The Afal Gav who called is a relative to himself. He can add even sometimes more. He's a gas and gan of Shakan, Chal Shabbos, Kosoleidus, Shebet, Shifro, Mamze. Afal Gav who called Lahatzon. The call of like Posla, a relative The Torah didn't cancel only on others. On himself is believed. But if he wants to merit not the debt, the to merit others means others will merit. Shomochin is not believed, it's only himself. So it says only himself. On himself, the Torah believed, even though you have all the psulim. And what's the Mekoy? Yes. Oh, very good question. And before your question, it's a good question, but so he extends this same svara to Shavya Nashe, and he knocks it out with this kasha. Same kasha we had at Chassam Soiva. And he says maybe when the Torah believed Oidas Vadin or Shavya Nashe, we'll see, he'll extend it because it's Beyodor. But who says it's more than 80? Shavya Nashe is believing against 80 against no migo. He is believing, he's the belief in Shavya Nashe. A man can obligate himself against 80. There's no migo. Why? There's no mekoy. That's his kasha, and he stays with the kasha, doesn't answer that. So therefore, all those tirutim on it. But before we go there, let's see a little bit more, then we can. Yes, Rabbi. Yes.
So basically, it could be maximum.
That's what Simcha said. Very good. You were buying them of your money. You can do what you want. Good. Good. All those stories we'll see in a second. He deals with it. The story is understood all that. The Shach in the beginning of Simon Lamed Zayin, he had a doubt. Also in this thing. And the reason why a man is believed to on himself to dead, look at the Shach. The Shach has a whole different theory, which Eksoy is very, very against. The when a person has a benefit, you have a bias. You consider you a relative. When you give a testimony to death, you're not biased. But you're not considered a relative. For a debt, there's no benefit for you, so you're not a relative. When you are unknown, when you get something out of it, you have an interest, so then you consider a relative. It can be believed Chavlachim too. Chavlachim, it's a good point. When it's Chavlachim, but this is what Shach says. Shach says, why a person is believed to dead himself? Because you're not a relative. To benefit, you're a relative to yourself. To debt yourself for others, you're not a relative. Not because you can give gifts and all that. No, because you're not a relative. You don't have an interest, you believe. I don't know why the Shach, he doesn't show if this svara is a good svara. By a relative more than psuleimus. True that a person is not a relative, it doesn't have an interest to debt. There's only one witness. To move money, you need two witnesses. How a person can be mechayiv himself like two witnesses if it's only because he's not, okay, you're not a relative because you don't have an interest. Interest means you're a relative. That makes you a relative. The interest is the relative is what makes you karov. Karov we translate to interest. No interest. What? Yes, I think so. Shach's answer is not in the Shavya Nashe. And Odas Baldin, he says, when you lechoy, he says, Odas Baldin lechoy is not, he doesn't no interest who believe. She says, okay, he's not no interest, not a koi, but he's only one. Unless I boost him from it's a kasha. He says you didn't solve the problem. There's only one. So only then more. Every shipper gets another one thing. And so what happened is another psulim. And yet, is never one can make it done. Yes, I'm not answering what the Shach is saying. The Shach is saying that Odom Neman Lochoy, the man Odas Baldin is Neman to Mechayiv himself because you have no interest in Mechayiv. To benefit yourself, you have an interest, you're covered. To Mechaiz, you have an interest, not considered covered. But when we ask the Kashi against this, and the choice has answer. The Kashi is, okay, even though he's not a relative, but why he's like two? And number two, what happened if he does has other psuli? The answer is Xeras HaKoso. Xeras HaKoso allowed him to believe in himself, even though he's a Korah, even though he's an Evan, even though he's a sheep or Gazan. The Torah has Xeras HaKoso, the Torah believes himself. And Xeras HaKoso tells you even more than 80. A new word, a buzzword, Xeras HaKoso. Shach wanted to give a swallow. Says the swallow doesn't fit. The swallow doesn't fit all the time. What happens to other psuli? And number two, why he's like two? He said it's swallow. Yes, right. And he says, when is a choiv, you have no negia, but when it's not l'schus, you have like a cover. Negia makes you like a cover. When you have an interest, mean you're relative to yourself. I always like to bring down, I heard from my brother many years ago, the Meiri. The Meiri says, why when a person goes to the bathroom, he doesn't smell himself? Because a person doesn't see the gas. Doesn't see his own negoim. The Kohen cannot see his own nega. A person doesn't see his own blemish. A person even doesn't smell his own smell. He's so gat himself. And mothers tell me, my wife was telling me, I love my children like myself. You see, I don't smell them. I do smell. She does. I love them all. I'm not nogea. Nogea. Person doesn't see.
And what this is not Eidos. Well, how they answer the question of this subject?
Yes.
I mean, what the shot. That I don't say excellent though.
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying.
The what?
The mothers say Eidos is two different words. The mothers is one the other. But the mothers is not.
The Shach understood, and the Ketzois both understood
The one.
that it's Eidos. Because it says, I tell you why the words, Oidas Badin Kemel Eidi. Right? So understood in order to make it like Kem Eidi, or because it's an aid, but it's not a Korah, it's not Nogea. It's okay, but it's an aid, not Nogea, but it's only one. And what happened if it's not only Nogea, it's not a problem of Nikia, whatever is an Evet, still believe Bebechoy. Must speak Xeras HaKoso when it's an Emonus. The Teiremino, it's Somach HaKoso, it's an Emonus. Very good. I agree. I tell you the truth. 1 second. If you see in the Shav Shmaitze, it's brought down in the papers. Look in page 3. The Ksois himself, some other places where he extend this concept. We didn't even actually do it, but you already pushed me. I'll show the Shav Shmaitze, and you see there himself and other places that he holds not mamish edus. He knew himself. Look at the third paragraph on the top. Shmaitze vov perekes. Ivi b'shem chachme provancia. 3 paragraphs on the top. If you look then Shav Shmaitze, you see that he himself wasn't clear in his mamish ne'emon provancia. Should be stopped without a doubt. If a father says, I married my daughter, can he retract to Amasa? Normal, a person couldn't retract. Amata means he gives a tirutz, he gives an answer why he's changing. One second. Or Shema, or maybe. It's a woman, she can retract with a masla because Shavanafshi is not nemus legamre. It's not a nemus legamre. But a father to his daughter, about his daughter, but what do we see? Muchach. This is ours. It's not the Shav Shmaitze. Shedin Shav Yanav Shedin Eino Ne'emonus Gmur Min HaTorah. Okay. But if the McCoy, one. But if the McCoy is that, so you have a McCoy? Okay. I would say in English. The Shav Shmaitze himself is the same man of the story. And he wrote in his other book clearly that Shav Yanafshech Tiknei Suham. Here, which we didn't learn it yet, he jumped the gun, but those are prepared to know that the Ksois in the second will say that the McCoy of Odas Badin came in and money. And the McCoy of Shabia Naf Shechtin Sur is one McCoy. Asheroy Makiuse. The Torah believed the person upon himself 100 witnesses. And money on prohibitions. This is a choice. That and that, the same. The same choice in his book Shav Shemaitza. He has a Hakira. Maybe only when a woman says, I was married, I was Eshu she's believed to change her words, a Shabia Nafsha with a Masla, with a Teruts, because it's only Shabia Nafsha is not a Nemonus Gemurah. It's not a complete Nemonus. What does it mean, not Gemurah, not complete? It's a lower level, or it's only just some not tells, I don't know. But when a father tells about his daughter that she was married, it's an Nemonus Gemurah Minatayla. So who says that you can change? See, here, you could say that the Eksoish retracted or no. The Eksoish didn't retract. It was young then. First edition. Yes, he says, she wrote in Akdom. He wrote before 13 years old. But he said the same thing, but all his life he fixed it. So he went through it all his life. Many years in his life. So, but one second. We can answer a very simple answer. That he's only saying that although the Torah believed a man on himself to death for money, or he's believing on himself to put an issue on himself, only on himself. But rather than when the father says, my daughter got married, he's not only believing on his daughter, he's believing on anybody else not to marry her. What if the father says, my daughter is married and somebody lives with her? You will get lashes on that. Shavya Nafshe, no, only the person that speaks. One second. I think maybe that's what he says. He's not retracting that Shavya Nafshe is not in the one who's more. Saying it's not like most more maybe reference to others. And the father to his daughter, the Torah believed him, probably even for others. So maybe there's no master. So there's no guy that express retracted. Although the one that prepared those papers, one of my rabbis here, that's what he wrote, but I don't think now I'm thinking in my mind, they're not necessarily retracted.
So it's not the same as that. These two are the same.
Yeah, but the choice is the same. No, let's see. I didn't get to read what the choice says. Let's see. Let's be finished. Bezrat Hashem will finish, then you can talk. Let me finish, please, because the time is running. I'm reading page 2. In the second paragraph, 3 lines before the end of the second paragraph. Rather, the main reason is, like I wrote, the Torah didn't cancel none of those psulim. Koreh, Gazlon, Eved, all those psulim the Torah B'Chal Shabbos, only on others. But on himself, the Torah did believe them. The Torah gave him belief like 100 witnesses. Like 100 witnesses. We learn from the word Kiluzek Moshe Rashi. This is the clarity of this subject, which is so he says, I found the clarity in this silent. What's the Mekayim? Kiluzek. And now I have 2 years one to say.
It doesn't mean it's aided to be their money. Their money is associated to aided in their.
Right. Good. I hear what you're saying.
This is a big thing to dance.
Yes, but one second, it's not our subject. I want to get where we are dealing with Ksubis. Some people also wrote Bedin Shabi Anav in Surah Shugan Kemiteras Neder. That was the Ma'arid. He brought some svor like that. Aval Ha'iti b'Ma'arid, Ma'arid Basan Seder, the Ma'arid knocked him out. The Rebbe of the Ramchal. The Rebbe of the Ramchal, the Moshe Chanutzat was Ma'arid Basan Seder, and the Ma'arid knocked it out. Shedocha Dovozeh. Because of the Mitoras Neder, the Mani B'Shayla, you can record, you can martyr the Neder, martyr the vow. And the Noida B'Yudah says shtus. Where's the Lashon Neder? And I say it's misvor like a Neder, like the Shimshon, with even our language. Some Achroim or Shishivas do like this. And if we use this, so it will be very easy on Rashi. Why? What Rashi said? according to the sheet, although he doesn't really may not know. But what can he do? He said, it's another finish.
What's the cash on my sins?
What?
What's the cash on my sins? Even if you never, so I even go good like you.
He only said it's open. But now it's open, what happened is we don't know. That he said that he said, we not doubt it. Why? By one suffix, he's Shavanafshik. Yes. He's only saying Petah Batua, that's all he says. Why not? He's saying this she's woman is a Sabik Doraisa to me. This woman is Sabik Doraisa Lehuma to me. That's what he started. First point is she's a Sabik Doraisa Lehuma. So he's saying that she's a Sabik Doraisa thing. She's a Doraisa, Sabik woman. What? That's all right. That's a Shavanafshik. To me, she's a Sabik Doraisa. Yeah, but what is the Shavanach against so? But he's saying that this woman is a Sabik Doraisa thing. Okay, the Dinim Chazal will tell. But that's a ramification of his words. And it's Shavanach. So he said, if we follow it's Neder, so our Rashi is very good. But the problem is the Mari knocks it out, the Ktsoy doesn't like it, even the Noidivir calls it Shtus. Very weird. They use those words. Very short. He says, "The svara shtus v'lo yomer." This Keturah brings the picture. Okay, but Mari Basan was the Rebbe of Rabbi Shayo Basan was the Rebbe of the Ramchal, was a big man, was a Gadol Adon in his day. By the way, the whole reason why the Ramchal, we learned the Ramchal because his Rebbe protected him. The Mari Basan, Shayo Basan, was the only rabbi, which was his Rebbe, that protected his town, the Ramchal. Even he attacked him, and this other rabbi, I forgot his name, wrote many letters against him, and they knocked him at Chayim on him. But his Rebbe always stood in the side of him and protected him. Mari Basan. And he gave us a svara of neder. Okay? A lot of people do follow this svara and they have ways how to solve this problem, but it's not our subject now, this second. The Lefit Rocheinu comes according to our way. Now the Ktsois. Taram Tanam, we have the Ktsois. ולפי דרכינו גם כן בסדין שבי ענף שתתקד איסור או מדין נאמנוס. It's really from the law of belief. Not eidus neemonus, the result. Very good. The cave on the aiming of Torah l'cholot amanat. Since the Torah believed every man on himself, in can ben b'mom, it doesn't matter if it's money. Ben b'isur, it doesn't matter if it's prohibition. Lo, always ne'eman al atzmoi. Great victory. So until now we have two svaras. We have a svara of neder, we have a svara of neemonus. Neemonus is not a neder, it's a neemonus, and it's a sakos is one kiyuse. No, not necessarily. I don't know. Not necessarily. The result, like Rabbi Refash, is very good. We have the result of neemonus. The man is neemonus. But the building is so I don't know. Neemonus, yes, a neemonus. Yel more than 80. Otom neemonus, yosem 80. Das war die Neman Yosem 80. That's his kasha. Ela dakati kelemeida could be no longer. That's what it is. If it's from Yom Kippur, that's the McCoy. How do you become more than 80? Vim shum deksim Kippur. I know that the Kedin makashule. Mushumiku. There's no witness that denying. See, as a miku, believe me that I owe you one at least, because I can give you that if I want. The Neman. Yes, amigo. Kmosh Kosano, the boy Yoiv Nevamatol, you can give it as a gift. Avaleche, the Ike, the Makre Shel Beloishai, God, I'm able to go down. You know, I'm like more of us and Medal. In Keminolo do Nemon. How do we know it's no McCoy? No McCoy, because the McCoy is what fell down. Torah believes them, Hashem accused good. But there's no guy from the apostle that he's more than 80. It's only because we are. So, it beating Natati, the Sam Sefer knocked it out. Maybe it's because of the Yodo. I told you himself said. Namaskar. So he smacks it out. Because how do I know you're more than 80? Maybe because he has a migo. Then lo imatu misvor. Can be misvor. The Lashon Rashi of Mikra. As there's a possible that Siki use it. Okay. So now we got 2 out of 4. Look at number 1 below. Number 1, Difra Agron Nire. And number 1 in the Gro. Nire Mekor Acher. Unbelievable Goyim Mivulna. The Goyim Mivulna says, Shikosa, Edin Shav Yana Shehid Yisur. Even Ezer Simon Gimel Ojudale. The Kola Machmir Al Atzmo. Anyone that is strict on himself, Neman Yoisim in Eidim is believed more than 100 witnesses. He's believed Neman Yoisim in Eidim Kemoshkosa Bekisus Beis. What does it say in Kisus Beis? משום דאנרו יצא להבין כל הזור, כאן לא עושה לגמור בכסובת, איזה קריסו שיכול לא אמר, לא אכלתי חלב, I didn't eat חלב, משום דכסיבו אוי דה אליו חטוסו, ולא שיהודו החיים. Okay, so what they're going to be doing says, the rule is that the chet, in order for you to bring korban, the chet has to be known to you. So the Gemara says, but if it's not known to you, claim you didn't eat chalev. Even though Adam says, you ate chalev. And he says, I did not. I did not. You thought it's chalev. What was that? Was shuman. Was kosher. Who knows what? You made a mistake. And he says, no. And I want to be strict on myself and not listen to the Eidim, because I listen to the Eidim, I will bring Chulun Lazor. And I know I don't need to do that. So, all your Chatosos of Eidim doesn't have to bring. So the Bogoyim, that's the McCoy that in Eidechor is never even against Eidim. La'achmir alatzmo against Eidim. To machmir himself. Not to bring Chulun Lazor. So from there, a person, we learn that Shavya Nafshek Digli Yisur. That's a McCoy.
Even Machmir means that it's not evidence in his own eyes. It's just he's wants to be Machmir. Means that he doesn't know, but he wants to be Machmir.
Okay, so good. But still, he's believing against Eidim. Neman Yoisur Eidim. And not only that, the Goyim Mivina learns that's the McCoy who does Baldin. Kosav Agron Neman Al Chisujid Beis. So in Shavya Nash Shedichizur and Odas Baldin both been learned from the Pasuk Oida of the Chatosoi that a man is believed to be strict on himself more than 100 days.
So they're holding he's strict on himself, not because it's
yes. Now let's go back to our Sugya a little bit. Let's relax a little bit. Let's go over the Svots and now rethink about the Svots. We have Achloikas Rashi and the Ritva and Rashi. Really also look carefully in the base of I didn't want to spend too much time because I didn't want to drive the whole shit on that and attacking you what it says in places. But if you look at this, a base of Aleph well, the dishes we learned, what's the reason why it goes to Beis Din? Why the rabbi said get married Wednesday? Go to Beis Din. Rashi says it goes to Tzveikas. Look at this there. When Akasha and Rashi in the answer, in the first and second answer, so that's the same machlokes. What's the maschona sagmor? He's a boki, or he's not a boki, he's believed. Machlokes he's showing you all over. The base Rashi Toises, Rashi and Ritva and Rashi were now so now let's go back. If it's a neder, so then Rashi is very understood. Because even though he may be mistaken, but that's what you said. That's what you said. Finito la commedia. You said it, it's finished. Finito, you said that's what it is. Even though they're not Bucky. But if you hold like the choice, like the going to Vilna, that is Xeras HaKosov. But if you don't know, what am I going to believe you? You yourself don't know. You're not a Bucky. You imagination, hallucination, you took something. So how I can trust? Where's the Nemanus here? Nemanus is if I can assume that for yourself you know. But if the Kamash went on the Quinterash, that really, although you don't know, but that's what you said, it doesn't fit the line of the Ketzois. Doesn't fit the line of the coin. But the problem is the Ketzois brings Rashi as a McCoy. And Rashi now Sugi learns that Shavya Nash didn't saw as what? Even it doesn't know. Rashi and Rashi. How can it fit Rashi? And the same thing is the Goyim Vilna. The Goyim Vilna learns and then a model more than 80 from Korban. And that's the McCoy of Shavya Nash and that's why the Canadians and their models. When you don't know, you yourself, you don't know how they have in their models. So Shitas Rashi doesn't fit with Rashi in Kiddush HaMetzah, Samach Daled, and the Goyim Vilna doesn't fit Shitas Rashi. And Toysis that holds like Rashi, one of the answers of base, another Rishon. Must be that they will hold, okay? But the first one's of Rashi. What was just Rashi? If he doesn't know, where's the Nemanos?
So what? It's more than he even stop a peeking and stuff. So it gave him a position that he can do that.
He says he knows, but we assume, we don't assume, we worry maybe it's Kasavu. But he's not a book. He's like a child. You have a child touch something hot. Oh, he touched fire. Imagine he touched fire, like fire. Hey, he doesn't know. What did he tell him? He says, yes. Yeah, that never saw ever colors in his life. Can he say what colors it is?
Yeah, but
How does he know what he said, what he saw? He doesn't know. If he doesn't know, he's not a book. He's a kasobo. If the kamash on the door he doesn't know, yet he believes, it doesn't fit those shitas that holds in the mouth. So he's, and that's Steve Rashi itself, and also the Goin doesn't fit that. There is a fourth shita of Tuhuma Sakri. It's printed in the papers here. Tuhuma Sakri. It's on page 3. It's a short Tuhuma Sakri. Read it inside. And then we're going to go through the svara of my father, bless his memory. And he said it somewhere else. He had a bit of video. He came the exact day. I can say something about my father. Okay? That's if you remember what he said. Okay? And Rabbi sacked him. And the Akdoma of the Sefer, Rabbi Kaplanton brings it also in the name of my father. If you look in the Akdoma, he quotes it. And I found this Yerushalmi, Zat Hashem. And I want to explain the svara and prove in many places if I could. Zat Hashem. But let's see the Tuhuma Sakri. Tuhuma Sakri is a fourth idea. Fourth possibility. Tuhuma Sakri says, it looks to me something new. A new pshat. A nueve. A new pshat. Navayor. Veloimar to say. Doido bifnei eidim, admitting in front of witnesses, umitoira shavya nafshech tigid isu. Admitting siyata d'shmai. Yes, yes. But soon we have to read over. If I admit in front of, not in front of court, if I admit in front of 80, when a man admits, that's one way you jump. Where did he admit? Where did he say? Good point. Okay, good. I have to get to it. But that's his chilek. He says, if you admit in front of 80, is mitoiras shavya nafshei like the same way a woman that says, I'm a married woman. She's not to get married to nobody. And not only that, says that if she does get married, we forced our husband to divorce, but not her hands to divorce herself. But you forced our husband not to be with a woman that she's prohibited herself. Before we said, I saw in Rashi, why when he says she's an Esau, it's not nogea to her, because nogea to him. What about her? They can divorce her. He's opposite. The woman said. So what the Beis goes and says, listen, Rabbi, listen, husband, you're allowed to be with her, but she's not allowed. So by you being with her, you're causing her to live in Esau. So also. Even though she got married, you forced the husband to divorce her. Yeah, the new husband. Yeah, the new guy. After she's a married woman. The new guy that marries her, they force him to divorce. It's not from the law of belief. You hear, Rabbi? It's not from the rule of belief. Or rather, Kevin says, according to her words, so she was prohibited to be married. And now he gives a beautiful story. If the woman knew the truth, she says she's a married woman. The whole world, she's not married, But she knows the truth that she got married. There was no witnesses. Nobody saw. Only the 80 that they died. They went to Chutzlah. She knows the truth. But everybody says not true. The whole Machzikim was even the guy Atzmo, her reference to herself, she goes to a rabbi, what I should do? Beis doesn't believe me. 80, everybody holds me like I'm not married. But I know the truth, I'm married. Can I be married? Nobody knows. Nobody holds like that. But I know the truth. Can I get married or not, rabbis? Not allowed or not allowed? She's prohibited to get married. This is a Tumasaki. It was about proof of its choice. Oh, we don't know yet. I'm going to give a story. I will say what I said years ago. And I have my old papers, Slobodka papers, which I don't have it now. Old papers we brought the Chaim Oizer, not the Chaim Oizer Guzhinsky. The Oizer on the Shulchan Aruch was one of the major Pirushim. Was a Dayan in Vilna. Evan Oizer, yes. He says it's like this. We printed 5 years ago when we learned it 6 years ago. And I think that's a svara. I brought down at that time the Rambam. The Rambam says, why do you believe Hashem, the Torah is true? Why the Rambam says, why we believe the Torah is true? Very right, it's a fundamental. Everybody knows it, but he makes it more clear. Crystal clear. Why we believe in the Torah is true? Not because logic. It's not because logic. It's because tradition. Also logic makes sense. But Masoyas, now there's why Masoyas is so strong. You hear this done here? Because we saw ourselves. And even the whole world will bring you witnesses and oisas from Moisi. They will make you miracles and signs, whatever you want. That was false. Sorry, I saw my own eyes. Nobody can get. This is the ultimate truth. This is the Rama. This is the Yesod. You know yourself for yourself. You know for yourself. That's that's a svara and a fundamental svara of our Jewish religion. Why do you believe in the Torah? Because we saw it, Mama. Our forefathers don't try to children, but they saw it themselves in Mama Sinai. They saw their own eyes. They never see. You saw.
You're making a difference between that you just said.
I'm saying a svara of. I'm applying the svara to the although he doesn't say it, but I think that's his word. He says, why, when somebody admits in front of witnesses, he's believing, even though it's not a Beis Din, because not an emanus of Eidus, it's an emanus of Shavya Nafshe. What is Shavya Nafshe? When you know for yourself, reference to yourself, and nobody else can clarify it, only yourself, but you know it yourself, you have to act according to what you know. Nobody can convince you. You have to be strict. What?
Say, I got a book minute, instead.
Who says you cannot change? 1 second. 1 second. No, but what you know, you know. But how can change what you know? So, but if you didn't know, it's possible. If you give a masla, you can change. But if you don't give a masla, what you know, it's true forever.
This is more than a month.
It's more than one. It's opposite. It's not saying, like the going between no. It's a fundamental thing. It's the highest level of truth. For yourself. That's what it says. Even this thing cannot be inspired. The Afal Gav and Rashi, it's not a deficiency, it's a beneficiency. That even though it cannot be inspired only through you, nobody can challenge it. But because it's only you can know about what's in Tony Shabbat Alabain is only you know. It's only about you and what you know for yourself. Nobody can change for yourself what you know for yourself. Even 1,080 who come in, they cannot change. You're not allowed to change what you know, because that's what you know. That's our fundamental of our religion. And I said this is svara d'oraisa. We find this svara by a maid woman. What? That's right. I'm talking about the Torah, not that thing. Only this fact. He's believed in this fact, not the result. To be too fake, to be mutual. What's it? Not about the result. That fact. We believe it or not. So I want to explain this svara. We find this svara in other places. The Mishnah and Tosefta says in the Masechet Kedushin that a chaya or mother, the first 3 days and 7 days, the mothers believe more than her father did. That's a baby. A father has a din yakir. But the mother, before the father, the first few days of the birth, or the midwife, not because Peyah, what Peyah? That's the father. Moses even does not Peyah. I'm saying is the mother, because the Ran says nobody else is there. She's the balabait of the story.
Right.
We see that story, Neman Balameka. Who gave me? Two people are fighting to buy, and I can say he gave me, not him. I want to sell them. The Torah gave me the Balameka, Techayot, the Dayon. It's the same idea. And I found the Yerushalmi. This my father used to bring this all the time. We found this Yerushalmi. I will print it out, bring it up for next week. Yerushalmi says like this in Peyah. Kol Mokoi, any place where you see halacha rovachas, you see halacha that everybody agrees to. Halacha, that is rovacha means it's a common denominator agreement, everybody agrees to that fundamental.
What's that?
Halacha, Peyah, two chatzeros or Peyah, whatever, some halacha. Agree, there's no machlokes and tandoim about it. It's an anoch, I say an assumption. The Moshe says, since you have an option, that's why I've also used that assumption, but who says it's true? That assumption is true. It's a fundamental halacha. And you don't know what's the mekoy, al tasli. Don't go far away. You have the language, Rabbi? Here, I'm going to read you the language. This is some 5 years ago. I found this. We learned here. This is where? I know Shami Peba. Where in Peyah? It says Daf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. Omar Abzeira b'Shem Rabbi Yochanan in Peyah. In bo sa'alocho tachas yodecho ve'eina yodea mativo al tasliken oto v'racher. Shari kama alochas nebu l'Moshe Sinai ve'kulon meshukois b'Mishnah. He says if you find aloch is the source, don't try to figure out, trying to find remosim from the Torah. No. Since you found this in many halachos, all of them are sunk, okay, sinking. All of them are sunk, which means it's behind a lot of laws in the Mishnah. On that assumption, the Mishnah says many halachas. Like you don't know, there's an assumption. We say many halachas about it. So them has been sent Moshe. My father used to bring this. I don't know if you guys remember. I remember. And actually, I wrote it one time. We had to take out some kind of a choveret. And said, okay, Rosh Hashiv, you have to write right today. You have a few minutes before the game print. So my father told me, Atan Rashi. Everybody searches the beginning of a person cannot live. How can you rely on your wife? He tells you she's needed. She tells you it's kosher. A person can't live. Remember that? And yes, because that, what's the Mekoyer? And places is for Safron, Raya, no Raya, Marshaw, we learned for weeks. What's the Raya? He said, Allah Sinai. If it's an assumption, Allah Meshukoy is what our Mishnah is. This is Allah Sinai, we got from Sinai, which is we have a Mekoyer, a Pasuk, even though the Pasuk is not so clear, you can doich it. There's Allah Sinai, you got from Sinai, this is the Pshat. So I'm combining, I'm saying the Tumas Akhi is the Svah. It's a fundamental Svah. But that's probably the slow behind the Dina Torah of Sinai. But it's Allah Sinai. Mimela, what do we gain? We gain here, we have basically here two groups. We have one group, actually maybe three. Well, one group is Neder. So I don't care if Sobo or no Sobo, it's Neder, it's what he said he has to keep. We have another group of belief, yes. Maribasa. Then we have a svara of Gzera Sakos. So in that group, we have two. We have the Ksois as a Kivazel, the Goyim Vim says, so it's an emonus. That's one emonus, more than 80. But when you know yourself, how can it give you an emonus? And then we have the Truma Sakri. 1 second. The Truma Sakri says, what you know, you have to ask, because what you see in your own eyes, you have to ask. 1 second. But when I say maybe not a bookie, and when you saw in your own eyes, you don't know what you saw. Do we say, I saw that? I saw and I know that, and I think that's what I saw. There's no question that the is, exists there or not? I'm not so clear. But if he says it's Halacha Sinai, which is completing, it's completing this. So whatever it is, sounds like he's believed, even according to Rashi, even though he doesn't know, that although he doesn't know, but as yourself, and you have to act on what you know. That's Svara. It's a little bit hard when we say you saw, so you thought, but it was a Photoshop, it was a create. You know, what?
It's going on what you do, not what you saw. And really, do because you saw it, it's going to do it, not to see.
Yeah, but what so if it's another yes, if it's a svara is that whatever I know, nobody can remove me. That's svara a little bit hard because what you saw, nobody can remove because you're not a professional. There's a reason behind it. Then maybe you don't have to follow the truth. Maybe. But if he says it's a lot from Sinai, no matter what, the result is finished. Somehow, this the Chacham Mekabel that is believed even whatever the Gemara is saying. That's the Mekabel. That was the Kabbalah. That's whatever it is. According to Trishon. So it's really the fifth form. The fourth form we said is whatever you know truth, which is how I explained this all. Even though it's like Muhammad and Sinai. That's the Yisrael of Sinai. But in our Rashi, I don't know if 100% solid, but the fifth svara, which I can also put it with the svara of the Masakri, that is Halacha Shem Sinai, but it can be also svara on its own, not because he's a Gedol. Whatever the Gemara decided, that's that's his belief, that's all. I'm safe.
Maybe there is a raya to say that he's not doing that.
Yes.
Because the apostle said Yuzeh, and if we say that we don't believe, but he has to pay because he said, why you bring him to swear for the rest? He shouldn't swear. Because if you don't believe him, how do you bring him to nice into
I don't understand what you said.
and
Yes. Yes.
he has to pay 50.
Right.
But you
I make swear another 50.
you there we're saying one of the
According to this, over the person who has not been there on, also the Jesus of the
Okay. Whatever the story is. Guys, you have to make your only you, and this is my stories. It's Halacha Shem Sinai, which means there's no real proof 100% on the post. But Chacham Mekabel, this is from the post. And the going wears Rashi. Rashi doesn't think. So it's strong, even though you're not a bookie, because you claim, but you have to follow it. The way that Chitim Kubetzis learns in Rashi, and the way Toys enough base learns in Rashi. Okay. Yes. But we have two Rashi. We have Rashi. And my answer, the last answer, confused with Rashi. You're right, the Rashi is no raya, that's what he says. There's no raya. But the extra problems you have, how do we know more than I don't know why you don't know school believes. And then we don't have a problem. We say that's a big this Yerushalmi sounds a lot of sugyas. A lot of sugyas. There's a lot of Yerushalmi. So it's just every time you find an older Rishon, somebody told me, older was searching for a coin.
What happened? He's gone. No mustache schmooze?